And we are recording. We are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to T3G. This is the Tangents podcast. It's been a minute.
Like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. I had a goal to do this scheduled weekly for this year, and that fell apart very quickly.
I can come up with ideas.
Yeah, do that. Do that every week. Let's just do that.
Every week?
Please do. Unless I get a different guest on.
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
For all those people that are coming to our house.
Yeah, for all those people that are coming to our house. No, I don't mean a guest in person. I mean a different guest called in. Anyway, today we are doing this 93rd episode. Today we are doing a review of a film. Now, what happened here was that you saw this movie.
Yes.
And it was on Netflix. It's called I Care a Lot.
Spoilers.
Oh, absolutely.
Spoilers. If you don't want spoilers.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Stop. No, we got to. No. Do not pass go.
Yeah, do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
And I will say, I recommend that you go into this knowing nothing about it. As little about it as possible. So if you haven't seen it yet, log out and go watch it and then come back.
I disagree, so if you're willing to take the risk, keep watching. So what happened is you watched it, and you said, you got to watch this, we need to talk about this.
Yes.
I had not even heard of it, honestly. I might have maybe in passing heard the name, but not heard of it.
I went into it basically knowing nothing about it. I think Netflix, it's a trending, and so...
Sure.
Well, I know, didn't you say, sometimes Netflix will show you different things based on your profile?
Yeah,
anyway,
course.
for me, it targeted me. And it was
because you like murder.
I like human misery.
Human misery, yeah.
But so I think when you stop watching and then the kind of suggestions scroll.
Yeah.
It was one of the ones that was just I care a lot, and the picture of Rosamund Pike, and that was it. And I didn't read the synopsis.
Rosamund?
Rosamund? I don't know.
I feel like it's Rosamund.
It's a very
it feels
British.
English.
She's British, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Rosamund? Rosamund?
I feel like it's Rosamund. I feel like I've heard that name before. I could be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong.
I have not. But I always remember it because it's just such a
I forget what I've heard
distinct name.
But I've heard it for sure.
So I just saw the picture of her, and I don't know, nothing about the name or the picture drew me in.
Exactly. That was the thing for me. It was when you said it, I was like, all right, let me look this up. And I added it to my list. And I was like, I would have passed this. Looking at the photo, the little trailer thumbnail, whatever. I was like, I would have totally passed this.
The only thing that brought me into it and made me interested was that I saw one of my friends who I wouldn't have pegged for that kind of movie type of person.
Sure.
Was like, oh my gosh, has anybody watched this? Let's talk about it. And people were vague about it, but there were people that were like, I enjoyed it, but it made me uncomfortable. And so I was kind of like, I like discomfort. I should watch this.
I like being uncomfortable. That's fine.
Yeah. So I finished Bridgerton. Edgerton.
Just finished Edgerton. He's done.
Yeah. I finished Bridgerton, and then I was like, well, I don't have anything in the queue at the moment, so...
Really?
I mean, I've got things in my save. No.
I was like, I could watch movies for the next 5 years and still never be done with my queue.
No, but it was I had all the stuff that was in my list was I would like to at some point.
Sure.
I didn't have anything queued up.
Nothing that was
and for some reason I also thought maybe it was a show, so then that was the other reason I kind of passed it up. So I was like, oh, it's a 2-hour movie. Right. I can do a 2-hour movie.
So I went into it, and the setup's pretty straightforward, right? The setup is Rosamund Pike,
yeah.
Rosamund Pike plays a character whose name I already forgot. To be very honest with you.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, she plays an asshole.
Yeah.
She plays an asshole. She plays a bad person. That was the other thing. I but I realized this at the end of the movie. This is not a movie. There is no good guys in this movie. There is not a single good person in this movie.
No, not a single one.
Even the dude, even the son, even the one son, the first son, is a bad person. He has a grievance,
right?
But he's a bad person.
It's one of those movies where there is no good person, but you're still rooting. You go back and forth between rooting for people, I guess.
See, I didn't.
At least I do.
I didn't. So here's the thing. So the setup is pretty straightforward. She plays an asshole. She plays a caregiver, like a court-appointed caregiver. So when somebody
who cares for wards of the state.
Yeah. So when someone can't take care of themselves, they're declared a ward of the state. And if they don't have family, that'll take care of them. The state basically.
Advocate. She's an advocate, I guess.
I think advocate.
Yeah, something like that.
I think they just called them caregivers in the movie, though.
No, I thought there was a different name for it.
Anyway.
She was like, I'm your something.
Caregiver.
Was it?
I'm telling you.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Anyway. So my thing is, the setup was pretty straightforward. And it was like, they run you through the first, like, the last person she just hooked.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, I lost this, like, big fish. I was hoping to milk him for longer, blah, blah, blah. You clear, right out the gate, you're like, this is a bad person. She's a fucking horrible person. And it makes you think it is going to be a movie about, like, the flaws of the system.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
And so right out the gate, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, that's fine. I'll watch it.
Right.
Like, I was kind of like, meh. Like, I'm not excited about this. And then it was like, rich old lady. She's kind of by herself. I was like, no family. I was like, I mean, it happens. Like, kids die. Could have been, could have not had kids. Like, who knows?
Well, I think they had put it as, like, she had never been married and had never had kids, which
Right.
is still possible. Like, I have great aunts that lived that life.
For sure, yeah. And she was a businesswoman, so, like, I buy that this is a realistic person. That this person that she is trying to rob from. But that's the other flip side of it, is that she basically hooks these people into going into a care facility, and then all their assets belong to her.
Yeah.
Did you get that joke?
Yes.
All your bases belong to us?
Yes.
So, she'll sell the house and pay herself out and all that shit. And
like, she would get the power of attorney, basically.
yeah, she gets POA for sure. And yeah, she just makes off with their money. Makes off with their insurance money or their savings or whatever the fuck they have.
Yeah, sells off their assets.
Yeah, a doctor, the doctor, like the in-person, the doctor co-conspirator is like, yo, I've got a cherry. Like, and it took me a while, honestly, to figure out what the terminology was.
Same.
But, like, apparently the cherry is, like, the perfect candidate.
Like, there would be nobody to contest that you are in
no one's
charge.
Gonna fight you on this. You're just gonna get away with it.
Yeah.
And it was like super wealthy businesswoman, 40 years at a company,
No family.
retired, no family,
has had some previous, like, health issues that
like
were
minor stuff. Yeah,
minimum.
minor stuff that, like, enough that you could exaggerate, kind of thing. And that was the setup. And I was like, sure, what? Like, I wasn't even suspecting anything. I was like, she's gonna get her, and this is just gonna be like one tough old broad, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
That's like the extent of. So when I first started watching it, I thought, okay, this is going to be maybe from, like, the main character's perspective of how you game the system,
right?
And it's going to be sad, and it's going to be shady, but it might be like a cautionary tale. I was thinking of it as more of like the whole movie definitely has social commentary, but I thought it would be like a very basic social commentary of, like, these are the things that people do. This is what can happen. Be aware, protect yourself.
Yeah.
I was thinking it at that base level. And then when they introduced Diane Wiest's character and then brought the doctor into it, I thought maybe like, oh, okay, it's going to, like, get more into the, like, workings of how one would manipulate the system to work to their advantage.
Yeah.
I even thought, so at the beginning when they have the son of her victim before that.
Yeah, the first victim that you see.
The first victim, I was thinking that it might get into sort of like a he said, she said.
I thought he was going to set something up.
I didn't know.
I thought he was going to, like, hire some old lady to, like, record the whole process.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what I was like, something's going on, but at the same time I was like, I didn't know yet. Like, when she first got her.
Yeah.
And brought her in, and she's like, she kind of looked like she was playing the part. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, maybe this is just going to be like the big one, and then she's going to get an even bigger one, and that's when she gets fucked up.
Yeah.
And she's ransacking the house. She opens the drawer, empties it, and there's a key. And I was like, she done fucked up. Right there, I was like, she done fucked up. This is the wrong person.
I didn't think about, well, no, because, I mean, a lot of people have Social Security boxes. Like, my mom has one. Like, and my mom doesn't have lots of money.
Oh, you mean
A Social Security box?
That's not what it's called. It's not a
Or no, safety deposit box.
Thank you. Oh my god, my brain was gonna blow up.
A lot of people have them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
older people have them too.
For sure. But most people aren't hiding the key for it.
I
I would argue that most people are not hiding the key for it.
I suppose because you do have to provide documentation that like that is your box.
Yeah.
Or that you have access to that
Exactly.
box.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but did the taxi show up before or after she saw what was in the box? I feel like it was after.
I thought it was after, because she was getting ready to leave and he showed up, I thought.
No. The main character, she was already gone. The girlfriend
yeah.
interacted with the taxi.
Yes.
My thought was, all right, I would have done it differently. I would have done the taxi first.
Why?
Because that to me was like, wait, who sent the taxi? What?
True.
I was like, she's got an appointment. Someone knows she's not where she's supposed to be. But then I was like, oh, well, we already know that there's some shady shit going on because we already saw the safety deposit box.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like an added level of clearly something's going on.
Yeah.
But I was thinking after the fact, I was like, if they had done the taxi first, you'd be like, wait, something's weird. Then going into the safety deposit box, you would know something else was there. So when she finds a bag of fucking diamonds, my initial thought, because it happened before the taxi, was, oh, this was like a dirty chick. She was into like, maybe she like, because they didn't say what business she was in. That she was a businesswoman for 40 years. I was like, what business was she in? Was she like maybe the diamond industry? Maybe these are blood diamonds. Maybe these are stolen diamonds. Like I just had like all these thoughts racing. And then when the dude showed up, I was like, those diamonds belong to someone.
I guess I hadn't even, the diamonds didn't tip me off to anything necessarily. It was kind of like, that's an odd thing, especially to like have them hidden within a safety deposit box. But I think it maybe worked to have the taxi come that much later because it's like she's been gone for a while, and that maybe even adds a couple hours or half a day to it.
Right.
And then it seems like really out of place.
Right.
But I was thinking also initially, I thought that they might, like I said, I thought they might go with like a he said, she said. Because I think you can, with a lot of situations like this, as she argued very well many times to fuck people over, that a lot of times it's important to have it put in place like who you want to make decisions for you, because the people that are closest to you maybe don't have, like, they might think they have your best interests at heart, but they don't necessarily. And they might be making wishes against what you want. And so that's when you, like, having a guardian of the state or whatever does work to your advantage. So 100. I was wondering if they were going to kind of play that as like a, is this guy like out to get his mom? Is she actually like doing good even though she is like it could have been that she was profiting off of it but also doing a good.
Right.
That is not what happened, but it could have. But I mean, as far as maybe putting her like you said, getting to the diamonds, it was kind of like, oh, there's more to this. But I was not thinking it would get to the level that it got to the rest of the movie.
Dude, it just kept fucking escalating.
Yeah.
It really just kept fucking escalating. So, to your point, the whole thing at the beginning where the son is involved and he's mad, and she brings up like, oh, like, you had plenty of opportunity to put her in a care facility and take care of her. You weren't bringing her to your house. And I was like, this reminds me kind of like of my mom's situation and like my grandma's situation. Mm-hmm. My grandma was very much like, I'm not going anywhere. Right. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die here. So she was going to die in Bosnia. She was going to die in her house forever. Mm-hmm. She was never going to not die in Bosnia.
Yeah. So
like, I was like, I could see that. So maybe he's just like not taking charge of the situation. And at first, because she played it really well. During that initial court hearing, she felt like she was on the right side of this. Mm-hmm. Right up until she left the building.
I don't think that she felt she was on the right side of it. I just think that she has gotten so good at this that she knows the right things to say.
Yeah, but I just mean like her acting. Like she sold me.
Yeah.
Like if I was that judge, I'd be like, this bitch is just working. She's working. She's doing the right thing here.
Yeah.
Like, I would not have questioned her for a second.
Right.
And that guy and that's the funny thing. I'm glad that he's the same judge. I'm glad it was the same judge going forward, because that means she knows, she's played him for a while. She knows how to pull his strings. Like, she knows the right things to say to him. So I was like, this whole thing just ends up being, because like the dude that calls her, hey, this unit's available because one of your guys died. That whole system, like, it shows how big the operation already is.
Right.
And that's why initially when I was like, oh, this is going to be about how, like, there are bad people in the system taking advantage of old folks.
Right.
And then, you know, she finds the diamonds. And then I was like, oh, this is going to be a completely different movie. Because I didn't know Dinklage was in it.
I didn't either.
I didn't know Peter Dinklage.
And so when he showed up, I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. I was like, oh, Peter Dinklage, no shit. This is cool.
Well, especially because it wasn't just that he showed up. He definitely showed up as mafia boss Dinklage. It wasn't kind of like Peter Dinklage is in this. It was like, wait, what the fuck is Peter Dinklage doing?
Well, at first, he's like buying a donut. And I was like, okay, what? This is going to be interesting. Because I was kind of like, maybe they brought him in as like the extra star power.
Yeah.
And he's just like, not like an important role. He's like a side character, like best friend.
Yeah.
What? Maybe he's like her handler or something. Who knows? And then the fucking like expected meeting happens in the like shadowed fucking parking lot. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. And it was funny because like at that point you kind of know like, oh shit, she fucked with the wrong people. Because you didn't even think that. I thought it was just related to the diamonds, like end of story. But then he reveals that it's in regards to his mom.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh shit. And like even when you know that, when you realize like this guy's not fucking around and this is his mom, why can't I remember her name, the character's name? Rosamund. When Rosamund, what's the character's name? Look it up.
We gotta look it up.
Claire?
Maybe Claire? Care a lot, Netflix.
What's her
Court
name?
appointed. Oh my god.
Oh, Marla.
Marla, yes.
Marla. I would not have remembered that.
No, I didn't. That's not a practical name.
No.
But that costs. I mean, I don't know that that's part of it.
I know a Marla.
I've never met a Marla in my life.
I only know one. But so when you see Dinklage show up, and he is like, "That is my mom," they fucked with the wrong person.
Because he was like, "Where is she?" Because I don't think he said it was his mom right out the gate.
No, it was kind of like, what happened? Where is she? What's going on?
Yeah.
And then towards the end of it, it was like, you know how important these meetings with my mom are. I only get to see her like once every 8 weeks or something.
I was like, oh no, he loves his mommy. He's gonna fuck this bitch up.
Yeah. And he doesn't get his like bodyguard to do this shit. Like he is in your face. Like, I'm mad at you.
Yeah. So here's the thing. When he sent the lawyer, he was like, do it legally. And I was like, oh, he's good. I'm like, wait, he's ready to do some illegal shit
and
real
keep me
soon.
out of it.
He's ready to do some illegal shit real soon. He's holding back at this point. And so when he sends the lawyer, and the lawyer's like, haha, you should take this money. Really, though, you should take this money. I'm kind of begging you at this point to take this money.
But she was such a badass.
She was. It was, dude, I couldn't decide.
It
was equal parts stupid and equal parts brave.
That part that was the first part of the movie where I was like so uncomfortable. Because you don't know, like you know that she's doing this, but you don't know how far she's willing to go. It just kind of seems like, oh, you know, she's like a smart person that's figured out how to work the system. But this was very much gave you an idea of like she might have dealt with these kind of things before, or like either she's like desperate or brave, because he is in almost no uncertain terms being like, do this or you die. And she's just like, nah, I want you to do it my way.
Nah. She asked for like a couple million at first.
Well, because I think he said, I'll give you like 500,000.
I think did she say 10 million right out the gate?
No,
So I feel like she said 10 million right
no,
out.
No. He said, "I'll give you 500,000." I think it was.
No, he started. He started with 150,000.
150.
150.
No.
Then he was like 300,000. He was like 300, and she's like million.
Oh yeah. So he said 150,000.
And she's like, I'm thinking more like 10 million.
No. She said 5.
5. Okay.
She said 5. So he said 150.
So it turned into 10 after the hassle.
When she no, because she like got the lawyer out of the way and was kind of like, I'm in charge, and so then she came back with, when she ran into Dinklage.
Yeah.
Later, she's like 10 million, because
Yeah.
I think she didn't know.
She figured out who it was.
Huh?
She figured out who it
Well,
was.
I mean, yeah, she figured out who it was, but I think the other thing too is that like by that point he'd gone so far that she knew he's worth way more.
Yeah.
Because she told the guy, like, if you're starting at 150,000, I think you've got a lot of money. So then she said 5 million.
Yeah.
And because he said 300, and then she's like, 5 million.
It's
and then she went to Dinklage later and was like 10 million.
I appreciate the hustle.
Yeah.
Her hustle was really strong. She was a bad person for bad reasons. There is nothing redeeming about her.
No.
There is nothing redeeming about him. Mm-mm. And I love it. It
Yes.
is a true, literally, I was like, this is how you do bad versus worse. Mm-hmm. This is what I always tell people. I'm like, when like Wolfpack, the comic book that I'm creating, is not good. There's no good guys. This is mercenaries versus just worse mercenaries.
Yeah.
Like more evil mercenaries. That's all. Like, there's no good guys. There is no like positive things. Now, like you said, you do get a little sympathy towards her and towards him, but for various reasons.
I think it's more of an internal thing. Like, you feel your own fear and how it would be, and you can, like, I would not do the things that she does to people.
Yeah.
But if somebody was trying to strong arm me, I could see myself being like, I think I can get more out of this, or
Really?
wanting to fight.
Really? You?
No, I mean, if that lawyer showed up, I'd shit myself. I'd be like, 300,000, sure.
Yeah, first of all, you never take the first offer.
But I think but I think at that point she had not completely realized who she was dealing with, first of all.
For sure.
And that she also has done this and done it so well that she knows that it would be a fight. Like, she knows the control she has over the woman she has in her custody, essentially.
Yeah. Man. So, they have to leave the house. She goes to him. No, that was before they left the house. She figures out who he is. Mm-hmm. They
Well, she was only able to figure out who he is because the girlfriend was like, because she went to the nursing home and was like, who are you?
Right.
Because, like, these people aren't coming after nobody.
Right.
So it was like, who are you? And even though you already know this is scary, when she was like, oh, you fucked with the wrong person, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
Yeah. Because for a minute, I was like, oh, he put that shit in her safety deposit box without her knowing. That was my initial thought.
Okay, I didn't think that.
My initial thought was like, she just thinks he's a businessman. Mm-hmm. But then,
or I thought like she was doing business with him, and those are his diamonds.
Yeah, she was maybe smuggling it or whatever.
She
he
was afraid of him, and was like, well, I did everything I was supposed to, and you took them, so like now this is your problem.
Yeah. It was very much, and then it escalates, and then so she goes to him. How did that even go? No, she didn't go to him. Where did she go?
The girlfriend came back to her and was like, your ward is dead. And she's like, what the hell happened? And she's like, no. The person that you have is using the identity of somebody that died like 50 years ago.
Right. And they were like, man, I forgot that whole sequence.
Yeah.
I can't remember how. No, they were moving. They were moving to the other house. They moved to the other house because they were like, yo, this is some real shit. Because they killed the doctor.
Yeah.
They killed the doctor and they're like, yo, we gotta move.
Yep.
And then they moved to the other house. She was like, oh shit, I gotta go get the passports. And she was shopping, and I thought that was stupid. She gets kidnapped, and then we're in like a classic, like, villain moment. We're in some fucking construction site or some shit.
Yeah.
She's tied to a chair. There's headlights turned on. It's the middle of fucking night. I was like, this is some classic shit right here. And he's just like, where's my shit?
Yeah.
He's like, you got something. He's like, and then he's like, I'm not talking about that old lady. Where's my shit? And she's like, 10 million. The like, the balls.
Yeah.
The balls in that moment to be like, why are you bringing guns to this fight? This isn't about violence. It was like it was some sort of weird, like, back-asswards logic she was trying to apply to a situation that was completely out of her fucking hands.
I think
she was literally strapped to a chair with 30 guys around her with guns.
I think she just realized that when you get to that point, that, like, these people, he really wanted the diamonds and or his mom.
Oh, that's what happened first.
And if she dies, like, you're not getting either, most likely.
Well, that was the thing. Now I remember. They try to kidnap her first. They try to kidnap the mom out of the facility first.
Yeah.
And then she has her moved. Because she goes there, she agitates her, and she's like, I'm going to get your shit so fucked up. You're going to die here miserable and alone, in pain.
Yeah.
And the mom tries to choke her to death.
Which my friend was like, I was rooting for her. I wanted her to choke her out. She was terrible.
I didn't, even when it was happening, I didn't catch it. Because that reminded me of Dexter. Dexter walks out of that office, and the detective chases out and jumps him.
Yeah.
They pull him off him.
Well, like, even at that point, to have her attack her was like, who the fuck is this lady?
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, oh, something fucking's going on. So then she puts her away into a mental facility, and then he doesn't know where she is. She goes and gets the value of the diamonds, which is enormous.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you'll never know where the fucking diamonds are. Because I was like, well, wait, she only gave her one. So then, like, she clearly hid them somewhere. He has no idea where.
Right. Well, she gave them to...
She gave one to the jeweler.
Oh, she
She
evaluated one?
Yeah.
I thought she evaluated all of them, and I was like, that's a lot, but, like...
No, she evaluated one diamond.
Oh, that changes everything.
Yeah, she evaluated one, because remember, the rest were in that fucking coffee can. She never went back to that jeweler.
Oh, yeah.
No, she evaluated one diamond. One. That was so much money. That was so much money in diamonds.
Too, because, I mean, like, I thought it was all of them. I'm dumb. And I was thinking...
That was my thought, too, because when she said, I'll make sure you never find them again, and I was like, I mean, I guess he doesn't know which jeweler she went to.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but didn't she only have one?
But at the same time, I was like, that kind of shows how shitty of a... That, like, explained even further how shitty she was.
Right.
Because she knows that these are being searched for. She knows that people are willing to kill for them. And she gave them to this lady and was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's harmless. And I was like, wow, you really, like... If they come there, they probably would kill her, and you just don't care.
I mean, yeah, but she also, like, they have no reason to know that she's affiliated with her in any way.
But if they already know, like, that she's doing stuff, I figured if they were following her or something.
Yeah, I mean...
That it's like you have now put this person...
Because, I mean, she did follow... The mercenary chick did follow her.
Yeah.
Which also, I actually did appreciate that, like, except for Dinklage and, like, his immediate goon squad, like, all the badasses in this movie are women. Mm-hmm. I appreciated that, because I was like, his main assassin chick who killed the doctor and who kidnapped her. Yeah. Jig. Like, she... And it was like, she wasn't shown, like, her face wasn't shown. Nothing about her was like I don't even know who the actress was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have to look it up, and even then, I don't know that I could fucking tell.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Because, like, but I think that was part of the point. Because, like, at first, I thought it was a dude that killed the doctor. But then you realize she was wearing the same clothes. Yeah. The fucking hat and everything. I was like, oh, shit, she killed the doctor. And then she was clearly, like, very well, like, capable. I was like, this is dope. Like, I appreciate that, because something Hottest and I talk about a lot is when you have a female character that is, like, a badass, a lot of times it's overacted. It's like, like I'm a badass, and
or they
I'm
sex him up, like
it's not
sexy
even,
assassin.
No, not even talking about that. I'm just like, when they make him a badass, they often make them either, they tell them to go a certain way at it, or the actors choose to go at it a certain way. But often it comes out as overly badass, like I'm a badass and I will show you that I'm a badass, as opposed to like
she just got the job done.
Right, she was just fucking capable. She was like, oh shit, what happened to you? Boom, 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 psh, boom, in the trunk. I was like, oh shit,
yeah,
this bitch is it's terrifying, like terrifying. So like, I appreciated that, and it was kind of like he's not some like shitty like cartoony Russian mobster.
Yeah,
like he's just a dude trying to get some shit done. Mm-hmm. He has the right people in the right places.
Yeah,
he doesn't care about gender, like, because I feel like a classic Russian mobster would not have a woman employed by him.
Maybe
not in that position.
I mean, if they get the job done, you'll do whatever.
Granted, I don't know shit about the Russian mafia, but like, I mean, like, based on movie presentations.
Yeah.
Like in movies, there have rarely been women employed unless they're like the sex pot, right? They're gonna
right.
Whatever, seduce their way into a situation.
Yeah.
But no, this is like the handler. He called the one.
Yeah.
And she got it done. So like, I appreciated that. I don't know. Like I thought all the characterization was really good. I loved the main character. Mm-hmm. Loved her.
I mean, I thought it was super impressive. I mean, when you've got like this smarmy lawyer guy coming and talking shit to you, it's one thing to be like, actually, I'm going to negotiate higher. But for her to keep that persona still going when you're literally looking at a guy putting plastic bags over your head,
yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, make it look, what did he said? Make it look organic.
Yeah.
Not even, they put, I didn't realize what they were doing, but they put a tube down into her stomach to fill her stomach with alcohol.
Yeah.
So it looked like she just drove off the fucking road.
And that took me a second, too, because I saw them do that, and my initial reaction was, I didn't realize what they were doing at first, and so my initial reaction was just like, oh, man, that's like some shitty torture tactics.
Yeah.
And then when I figured out that they were trying to frame her for just, like, drunk driving, I was like, oh, I see. But I think
your stomach.
from that, well, yeah, because if you're passed out, you would, in theory, not be
And if you
drinking
die, your body vents itself. So, like, your BAC they couldn't even get it. You'd be underwater.
Yeah.
They would never be able to tell what your BAC was.
Well, so I thought between that, when he, like, really starts being like, I'm going to kill you, and then they basically are framing that she's driven into what is it called?
Barrier.
Not a barrier, into a quarry, I guess.
Yeah. I don't even know. Quarry or water retention facility or something like that. Yeah.
Then I was like, and then to see her, wake up and fight it was like, she will do anything to survive.
I thought it was going to be a situation where she dies. Because this is what I mean. Like, this was a movie that kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. Mm-hmm. Because when they sent her down that road and she woke up, and I'm like, what you going to do? You're dead. You're dead.
Well, I mean, when she woke up, I was like, oh, okay, she's going to stop it. I thought she'd stop it. Because I didn't know there was... Full speed. But, I didn't know what was at the end of it. I thought maybe she might hit a tree or something.
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
But they did put her seatbelt on.
They did put her seatbelt on. Which, I mean, I guess you...
If you're driving drunk, you probably would have maybe still put your seatbelt on. But then to see her, like, really, like, fight out of it and, like, how much she wanted to live.
The one thing I will say is she had inconceivably good lung capacity.
Yeah.
Especially for someone who vapes.
Right.
She vaped all the fucking time, and she held her breath under duress while kicking the fucking rear windshield out. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn.
Yeah, it was crazy, but it was just like, okay, she wants to live.
Yeah, when she made it out,
yeah,
I was like, shut the fuck up. They might be watching, but I was like, they're not watching.
That's what I thought,
I was
too.
Like, because then I was like, she's like half a mile away.
They assumed they know what they're doing and she's dead.
Yeah.
I don't think they've met people that want to live as much as she does. And then from there, it was kind of like I had no idea where they were going to go with it.
Yeah.
Because I thought she was going to die.
Yeah.
I was
and when
like,
she
she's
got out,
dead.
I was like, they're going to fucking run. That's a smart move.
I mean, I figured, okay, she's probably going to. Well, I mean, it could have gone either way. It could have been like, oh shit, they're really fucking for real. I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Or,
that was my
or
thought.
like, oh, you're going to learn.
Yeah. And that's the thing that happened is at the, in that spot where she like walks back to that fucking car care facility.
Yeah.
And I was like, milk? And then she drops her fucking tooth in it. Well, I realized I don't think it's a real tooth. I think it's an implant.
Oh, I don't know.
And I think the milk maybe keeps it sterile.
No, I think it was supposed to be a real tooth, and the milk keeps it with the calcium.
Maybe. I have no idea.
Because milk is like neutral. It doesn't have like it's not like acidic. It's not
pH
like
balance.
a lot of
That's smart.
yeah.
That's fucking super smart. So that's cool. But then at that point, I was like, she's dealt with some weird shit in her life.
I don't think you would know to do that without knowing
I wouldn't
some
fucking
shit.
know to do that. And I've researched weird shit.
Yeah.
Like.
So when that happened, I was kind of like, this is maybe not just a person who is trying to get shit done. This is maybe a person that's seen some shit.
Yeah. Well, and then also her partner. This is, by the way, like the coldest pairing in existence. Like, two of the baddest bitches on the planet are fucking, and I'm like, damn, because her partner got beat the fuck out of.
Yeah.
Like, beat the fuck out of, near death. They left her to blow up. Takes a wash, gets her shit together. The next day, she's like, let's fucking get him.
And I think, and I think that was that was like another thing that made you feel a connection or like rooting for her, was that I guess like that her girlfriend's in on these cons as well.
Yeah.
But she still kind of seems like a secondary character. And so it still like sucks and hurts to see someone like beaten like that and left for dead, and to understand like that even if a person is a shitty person, that they have feelings for someone. And so to come home and see someone in that shape and having to like drag them out from there, and like and that kept me on edge, like, oh shit, you gotta get out of that house, because they turned the gas on from the stove and pulled her out like just in time, basically.
Yeah.
But and then again, it's one of those movies where it's sort of like, is this the end? Is this the end? Is this the end? Because it was like, oh, she went into the quarry. Oh wait, she's not dead. Oh, okay, they just, are they going to or aren't they going to escape this house that's full of gas? Yes, they did. It has exploded. Okay, maybe they'll assume that they figure she's dead and the other one's dead. Like, game over.
Right.
They either can run away or they can go after them.
Yeah, and for sure, I was like, I was expecting them to run.
Yeah.
Because the partner, she was like, hey, we should fucking go. We need to go. We need to move places. And she's like, no, I'm not fucking going anywhere. No man's gonna. And I was like, that's fucking arrogance. You're gonna get you're both killed.
Yeah.
But then, so when she got beat the fuck out of, and like they narrowly escaped death, the both of them, I was like, they're gonna run. They're gonna call it a fucking life and run.
That's what I thought.
But then she's like, if we fucking run, we're always gonna be looking over our shoulder. I was like, she's not wrong.
I don't know why you would though, because
this guy is gonna. Because if he doesn't know where his mom is, or like takes him so long to find her that she.
But he's still assuming that both of you are dead, and you have diamonds that aren't cash, that aren't linked to anything. I guess I don't know.
Well, because he'll see the report for the explosion. There's no body.
I suppose.
Where, like, best case scenario, he never sees that news report or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, there is a possibility that he would know.
I suppose.
And if he can't find his diamonds, and like, if he's too late to find his mother, because like, where the fuck did she put her?
Right.
They didn't even tell. They didn't even show us where she put her. They just put her into a facility. She went to the dentist at like 4 a.m. She was like, "Fuck, put this bitch back in."
Yeah.
Man, it was so good. And then she fucks him up. And then I thought they were trying to kill him.
I did too.
I thought they were trying to kill him. They left him in the middle of fucking woods, jacked him up on whatever the fuck they jacked him up on, butt ass naked. he's a little dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, he's not good. Like, he just won't have the necessary energy to get far.
I thought they had,
drove
like, overdosed him, or that he was going to have, like, hypothermia. I was like, oh, yeah, he's dead. But at the same time, when they were doing it, I was like, why are you, like, leaving him and not making sure he's dead?
I thought they were going to put him in that quarry.
I did, too. Like, why aren't you throwing him into water or something?
Yeah.
Like, why would I was like, this is terrible. We know what happens when you don't kill people that are trying to kill you.
But then I didn't put two and two together. When he had her strapped up on that chair, she said, I want to be rich. I want to be so rich that I can use money as a bludgeon. I was like,
I missed that part.
And I thought that was kind of a shitty motivation. I'll be very honest with you. Like, wealth for the sake of wealth.
Yeah.
Like, not to a goal, not like I want to be so rich that I can buy my own island.
Yeah.
That's like a goal. I understand that goal. But like, just to have money.
Yeah.
Just to have it, to just be able to use it however you feel, I don't get that. Because that's kind of like the mentality my mom had. My mom was like, you should make more money and save money and never spend it. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
Like, if I never spend it, the fuck's the point? So like that's why I didn't necessarily like her motivation. But then when she shows up in that room, when they find him, he wakes up and she shows up in that room. And I was like, she's his caregiver. Oh my God.
I didn't even get that initially still. I was just kind of like, okay, she's going to say, like, he might be stuck on this machine forever. She's going to say some shit to him that's going to blow his mind.
Yeah.
But then when she was like, oh, haha, you don't have any history of who the fuck you are.
Right, because you know what? I just got that. Just got that. Because I was like, I couldn't just like look up his fingerprints?
No. So it was like, nobody knows who you are.
Oh my God, that's
You
brilliant.
are in this position where you can't talk.
She said, funny story.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, I totally get why
She's like, I can do
you
whatever the
didn't
fuck I
kill
want
him.
with you. Now, do I make your life miserable, or do you write me a check for $10 million?
Mm-hmm.
And she puts it, and he finally just like, fucking fine. He's like, she's like, fine? I'm like, good. I'm like,
Yeah.
he folded. I'm like, one of them has to lose.
And then I was like, this is the end.
Because she's like, I ain't losing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's not accustomed to losing. Mm-mm. So, and I was like, he's been humbled. There is no way out of this where he doesn't pay her $10 million.
Yeah.
So I was like, he's going to pay them. And then he's like, but I have a proposition. And I
well,
was like,
when he gets a little better. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I have a proposition. And I was like, partnership. Like, before he even said anything, as soon as he said proposition, I was like, oh, shit. And then they turned that into that monster.
Yeah.
That was like clearly a year later, a couple years later, or whatever.
Right.
And to me, especially with somebody with that many enemies, because at that point you were making enemies.
Right.
At that scale.
Right.
You don't have a fucking bodyguard? There's someone just like shadowing you just in case. That dude should never have gotten within 100 fucking feet of her.
Right. She probably figured that she had. Well, at that point, I think that they maybe weren't blaming her directly for things. You have, at that point, she's like a CEO, so you have other people doing the dirty work.
Right.
They know how to work the system and do it legally, and you're at such a level that you have like the best lawyers and all that I think it wasn't even like a thought for her. And I think that you feel that, like, I think that he also felt he was untouchable.
Right.
At the level he was at, and she humbled him, so she probably felt the same way.
It was, I like, the proposition was great. I was like, they're going to milk the shit. I thought he was going to just, like, give her a different job. Like, just, like, you have talents that I can put to work. Mm-hmm. I've got this business, that business, whatever. But then he was like, let's just maximize what you're doing, make it huge.
Well,
and I was like, oh, shit.
She, what's the word? She, like, validates, I guess, what he does. Because what he did seemed to be incredibly shady. And what she's doing is technically legal.
Yeah. That's why he's like, let's make billions of dollars. Legally.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
That was good. I like that little mostly.
Yeah, and so then at the end, it comes back around to where the son from the opening scenes is getting revenge on her because his mother has died and he hasn't seen her, and he blames her rightfully so for everything that happened. And so she gets what she deserves.
Yeah.
But I think what...
Go on. No, go on.
But I think what bothers me is the thought that even though she gets what she deserves, to get to the point that she has gotten, she has had to have ruined so many people's lives.
Yeah.
And that there is surely a system in place that will continue without her, that will be getting him money, that will continue to ruin people's lives.
And you also don't know that she died. All she did was get shot. They didn't show her die.
Oh, I suppose.
No body, no death. That's the rules of film. My thing, I wish she hadn't have gotten shot. I wish she would have just walked out, they got in that car and drove off into the sunset. Because I wanted this, because the suit, like 3/4 of the way through,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is bad versus worse. They are just outside of everything legal, outside of everything moral. They are having their own, they're living in their own world.
Yeah.
And in that world, they get away with shit.
Right.
And I was like, well, as soon as he showed up, I was like, fuck. As soon as the son showed up, I was like, fucking, they went for the easy end.
Yeah.
They went for the easy, like, at least people who, like, are, it's going to sound bad for, this is going to, look, I'm going to say it the way I'm going to say it. I don't care who takes it how. For simple people,
Yeah.
they needed a simple ending. And the
True.
simple ending is everyone gets their comeuppance. And that's the
Right.
simple ending.
Yeah.
I wanted, they both get away with it. The wives, now they got married at the end. They get on a fucking, like, a yacht somewhere, go off, like, you know, off into the sunset. He's like swimming in money somewhere, 15 women on a bed. And just like the end. Sometimes the bad guys win.
See, and for me, that's still too simple. I think it would have been a million. I really liked the movie because it kept me guessing.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know where it was going. I thought it brought up a lot of like interesting questions. I think it would have been a better movie if it would have ended at the proposition, and then you have to decide if is she going to take it or not.
I see what you're saying. And that makes it more of a think piece. That makes it more of a, all right, now you get to decide what is the I guess then it's more of a, did they do a good enough job of presenting the characters as they are meant to be seen for us to kind of draw the correct conclusion. Because at that point there is a correct conclusion.
It would have left you wondering, how much does she care about money?
Right.
If you have seen that he is willing to kill you. He's tried to kill you. He could still kill you, but he is finally, I guess, like maybe given up and is offering you the $10 million that you asked for.
Right.
So you would get what you wanted.
Yeah.
He would get his mom back. You would still be left wondering, okay, well, does she hold up her end of the bargain? Does he hold up his end of the bargain? Like, what happens? Or does she take the offer to ruin many more people's lives? I kind of would have preferred that, where it kind of makes you ask, like, what do you think the correct choice would have been for her? Or, like, what do you as a person, I guess, think would have been the right way to go? I would have liked a little bit, I mean, you said that there's no body. We didn't confirm that she died, but I would have preferred that it was like a lot more vague and that you're left wondering a lot more.
Yeah.
Just because the movie kept you wondering more because it kept putting crazier shit in it. That it felt kind of almost like it was like neatly wrapped in a bow at the end and was sort of like quickly ended. I would have liked the like, oh shit, what happens next?
And see, for the most part, I hate movies like that if they're not going to come back and give me an answer. I want a complete story, personally. I think this was not a cerebral enough movie to have an open ending like that.
I suppose.
There have been movies in the past that kind of end on a which road do you take kind of thing, and they earned that. To me, this was very much not that kind of movie. Like, I think it had some things to consider, but when it wasn't that thing that I thought it was going to be at the beginning, that it was just going to be like showing the flaws in the system, this turned out to be more of like a thriller drama, super fictional.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you have to disbelief, like you have to suspend your disbelief, because nothing of this movie is real. Like,
yeah.
There's just isn't a reality that you could like.
Although I didn't feel like it was so fictional that I was like, this is stupid. This would never happen.
Yeah, no, it's not, you know, it's not like bordering into superhero bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's just out there enough that it's like the ultra criminal element. And it's like, you know, it's not like Bond level villainy.
Yeah.
Like, it's not world ending villainy, but it's that like corporate villainy that it's like, it's what we believe already about the fucking rich motherfuckers in this world.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing, like, no one gets to, what is Bezos at? $400 billion or whatever the fuck. No one gets to $400 billion in net worth without stepping over some fucking necks.
Yeah.
You know, like, you stepping over some people, fucking up some people's lives. And that's the thing is, and that's why, like, I don't get her motivation, because I'm just not that person.
So
I would rather, if I get, like, when he offered her $500,000, if I somehow was in that exact situation, like somehow I got to that same spot, $500,000, I'd fucking retire.
But
like,
I also feel like she probably is the type of person that has like gotten $500,000 out of like just regular people by this point.
No, because I mean, she had
from like
enough.
Selling people's stuff and collecting insurance.
But if $10 million was like what she considered battering ram money, she hasn't gotten $500,000 before.
Oh, maybe.
I think she's probably that might be her maximum take.
Yeah.
So like the lifetime of her business might be 500,000, but like, you know, that might get her to $1 million.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't see that as like, if 1/10 of what she perceives to be like powerful level money, which even then is not powerful, like, because there are people with much higher money that can do away with people that throw around 10 million. When 1/10 of what she considers to be a powerful financial level is not enough, she hasn't, like, it wouldn't matter.
So I read an interview with her about this movie.
Okay.
And so I'm wondering how this will maybe change your thoughts on it. Because, you know, she was like always puffing on the vapor.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
I thought so too, but at the same time, I was kind of like, a lot of people do that now, and maybe it's calming or whatever. So allegedly, I don't know if this is something that she and the director discussed, or if, like, I mean, obviously that had a place in the movie. They didn't really explain it. I didn't know if it was just supposed to be a prop or whatever, but the way she described it was that allegedly the backstory of her character is that she had many, many years ago, she was just a regular person who opened a vape shop, and she was doing really well for herself.
What the fuck? Where is all this?
And then, you know, places like Walmart or whatever got in on it, and so she wasn't able to compete with the big guys. And now she feels that she's been like jilted by the system, and so now she's just like fucking everyone over and trying to get hers.
I'm glad that wasn't in the movie. I'm glad that wasn't in the movie, because that would be the same fucking problem DC has, trying to make me feel too much sympathy for the bad guy.
So they're trying to make it of like a, you know, she had a taste of success, it was taken from her, and, you know, now she just like doesn't give a shit.
No, you know what that meant? Meant her business wasn't good enough.
Right.
Because, I'm sorry, there are still small independent coffee shops that keep doing their thing, even though there's 1,000 Starbucks.
Right.
Like,
but I mean, I'm sure that those coffee shops still are kind of like squeaking by compared, though, even though they're maybe giving a better product.
Of course, comparatively, because you just can't compete it with volume. And
so I guess if your option at that, if you had started out as like a successful coffee place, and then Starbucks popped up and ran you out of business, you could be the person that ends up being the person that just screws other people over to get yours.
And I get it. I get that mentality. I didn't need that motivation from her.
Okay. I didn't need it either. I just thought that was an interesting aspect.
And honestly, that would have made her I want to be so rich that I can use my money as a battering ram. Even worse. Because then I'm like, that's all this has been about? Money?
Yeah.
Not like...
No, I think it was very clear that it was about money for her.
Well, I just mean, like, if they gave us that,
Yeah.
the, like, she got screwed by the system, and now she's screwing using the system.
She kind of said that in the beginning, though, anyway, where it was, like, her whole, you know...
Yeah, but it wasn't, like...
Yeah.
It wasn't this story. Like, what you just told
Right.
me gives that character an additional level of depth, but then also really makes that whole, like, I want to be so rich, I want to be stupid rich.
Yeah.
That it just feels worse. Because to me, that's not... Because she went from turning into an opportunist
Yeah.
to turning into just like a money-hungry person. Like,
Right.
that to me, that would just be worse. To me, I like what they portrayed in the film, and that was very much like, this is a bad person who saw the loopholes in the system, decided to take advantage of them, and now it's like she just keeps amping up that, and that's why the cherry thing makes sense, because then it's like, that's a big payout for very little work, like you don't have nobody to fight, etc. So like, it's very much, man. They do that. I see a lot of like interviews where they talk about, oh, like my character's backstory is this, blah blah blah. I wrote this for my character for the backstory.
But I guess some people have to do that so that you can get in like the right mind frame for it.
I guess I just...
Because otherwise, what would be... I think it's very rare that you find people that are like genuinely terrible people. And usually when you find like terrible people, they maybe are just like,
But even that's a
you know,
bad person.
terrorizing one or two people here and there. They're not making like a business out of it.
Right, but even that's a bad person, right? They start as a bad person.
Yeah.
Like, most people who get screwed by the system don't turn evil. Like, they don't suddenly become the villain and start taking advantage of old ladies.
Right.
Like, I think she still started as a bad person. So, like, even her, you know, small vape shop or whatever it was, probably was... She did it for the sake of cashing in on the trend.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that if you don't scale and go big right out the gate, when the big guns come in and they can beat you with volume, you just lose.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could see that it could have been worked in. I just don't know that they could have been worked.
I don't think it needed to. I kind of like the, like, where the fuck did this lady come from?
Yeah. I for me, it kind of plays into that whole perception, I guess, that there are doctors and nurses and lawyers and all these people who are already in the system who can and do take advantage here and there. Bill an extra couple hours, you know, prescribe an extra thing that gets them a cut off the back end from the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Those people exist.
Right.
That's been proven. So to me, that's just who she was. She was somebody who maybe worked in the care industry. Maybe she worked for like a nursing home and saw this financial opportunity.
Right.
Was like, I'm just sick of these old folks treating me like shit, you know, trying to just run the reception desk. And she was like, I see these fucking caregivers making money. Maybe that's where I need to go. Like, that's kind of where I saw it, is she was part of the system, saw the flaws in it, saw the loopholes, was like, I'm just going to take advantage of this shit. Everybody else is. Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I get mine?
I thought it definitely exposed the issues in the system where you can have people that are within their right mind, but if you have the right people working against you, like, you know, everything that Diane Weist's character did where it was like, they're out to get me, I'm fine, it just makes you look crazier.
Yeah.
Even though you're right.
Right.
And so they're like, well,
yeah, because
we're just going to drug you.
Right, because my mom was crazy, and she said that same shit.
Yeah.
So it was like she was certifiably out there, and it was very much like, oh, like they're doing this, they're doing that to me. And then it, you know, even as someone who cares, you know, for that person, it becomes very, very difficult to tell the difference of what's actually happening. Is someone trying to get her? Like, you know, because there were moments where I was like, is someone fucking with her in this facility? But then I was like, no, it's the same shit she said last week or at the last facility. And like, it's not every facility. It's not every facility. It's not, you know, at one point it was her neighbors. At one point, you know, it was all sorts of different shit for my mom. So like, people see that happen with people who are genuinely not okay.
Yeah.
And when you see someone who is okay, who says that same shit, you're like, yeah, of course you are. You're fine. You're
Right.
perfectly fine. Take your fucking medicine.
Right.
Like, because at some point, I imagine there's a lot of emotion. Kudos to anyone that works in like the care industries at all, like healthcare, like elderly care. Kudos to anyone who does that, because there's so much emotional energy that must be spent on that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't manage it. Like, just dealing with my mom was draining.
Right.
So like having to do that for 30, 50 people on a floor.
Well, and it's got to be hard too, because you get a lot of people that are like, well, if you're just respectful to authority, then you'll get your way. But that's not always the case. And if you are in your, like, I mean, even if you could be drugged, you might still understand what's going on. And if you have people that are fighting against you from what you know to be true, whether it is or isn't, if they're not giving you what you want or need or giving you the benefit of the doubt, you're going to get agitated. And getting agitated can lead to getting violent, and then you're kind of just proving the point of what they already think about you.
Yep.
And then you're just getting yourself in more trouble, even though it's not your fault.
Yeah. It's a mess. There's a whole lot to it, and yeah, back to the film. I think it definitely it did kind of show that there are these flaws in the system, but it wasn't like a fictional documentary kind of thing. It was, because that's what I was expecting. Like out the gate, I was like, okay, so this is going to give us like a, what was that movie? Runaway Jury. Runaway Jury. You should. I watched the movie and then I read the book. They're actually, the court cases are about two different things. The movie is about gun violence.
Okay.
So they go against the gun lobby or the gun manufacturer or whatever. And the book is about cigarettes. Okay. And I think that just wasn't like sexy enough for TV, for a screen.
I think they'd done like a lot of stuff about cigarettes already.
It could be. But like in either case, for me, I had the benefit of reading it in the voices of, Gene Hackman and John Cusack. So like I had like it played much better to read the book. I imagine had I read the book first, I probably wouldn't have finished. It is a little drier material. But like that's the kind of thing that I was expecting. I was expecting this like fictionalized account of actual things. Like there are this, the Runaway Jury is about the manipulation of juries.
Yeah.
That's a thing that happens.
You're
that's
kind of expecting
real thing.
and that's how I got away with it.
Yeah, well, initially I was expecting this was going to be like, he was like, the son out the beginning was like, this is happening to my mom, and like this woman is clearly the cause of it, and like he was going to find like a support group of all these people who have been through this and have dealt with this person. Yeah. Maybe not specifically her, but people like her. And they were like, we should fucking out her.
Oh, okay.
And like that's like where I was.
Maybe like more comedic. I mean, it did have moments of
not
being
necessarily
funny,
comedic, but like I said, you should watch Runaway Jury. I really thought like it was going to be something like that, where you're going to have these, relatives of old folks who have been fucked with by her or people like her, and by the system in general, that were going to like. That's why when she found this like too good to be true person, I was like, what if he hired some old lady, like actress? Yeah. They planted all this shit for her to like go in and like find out how they're being treated, how they're being handled, so that when you come out and like all of a sudden, oh, there is a son and he's going to pull her out, or there is a daughter or whatever, they're going to pull her out. Now they have all this evidence and they're going to put this bitch away forever. Yeah. That's where I thought.
Okay.
So when it got into fucking
like
diamonds,
Home Alone,
diamonds and shit, what?
Like it would have been more like Home Alone, where it's like, oh, you picked the wrong house.
Yeah. Wow, what a reference. But yeah, sure. Like you picked the wrong house. But yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was going to be. But then when fucking diamonds come into play, I was like, oh, this is not that movie at all. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Like I said, I would have wanted them to just get away with it at the end.
I would have liked them to just leave it
I still feel like she did. I feel like this is just a scar. I feel like that woman is way too stubborn to die off a gunshot. Because she was still
She survived everything else.
She was still conscious at the end.
Okay, yeah.
When the credits rolled, she was still conscious, and to me, that does not mean dead. Like she kind of got it. I think maybe she might get a protection detail going forward. Just getting shot. I was like, like as soon as the sun, like as soon as they like went panned away from her, went to the sun, I was like, man. Because like I knew he wasn't there to just yell at her again. Because like it's been a year, 2 years, whatever. Like he's not there just to yell at her. Mm-hmm. Like he's there to shoot her. And I was like, damn it. Because I knew. Because I've seen. There's a movie with. You're gonna laugh. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Where he's a.
I've never watched a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
What?
Not a single one.
Not even like Bloodsport?
Nope. None.
What the? Who are you? What the fuck? What?
Yeah.
You cannot. I can't even verbalize my shock right now. Not even. What?
No.
Double take?
No.
Fuck it.
I have standards.
They're good movies.
Are they though? Or are they just good for the time?
They're fun movies for the time, for the most part. Like Bloodsport. The fuck was that other one that he did right around the same time? Another like fucking fighting one. A lot of them were fighting ones. But the one I'm talking about, this was like 2005, 2004 maybe. It's called From Hell. No. Or I'm sorry, In Hell. From Hell is the fucking Johnny Depp thing. In Hell. And I was like, is this like a weird like bootleg version of From Hell? No, he plays a construction worker who's like on a corporate gig in Moscow. His house gets burgled and his wife gets killed.
And he's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No. That's the thing that I liked about it is, the kid who does it is like the son of some like rich dude, so he gets away with it.
Of course.
So he comes up at him at the end of the court hearing with a gun, and he shoots him right on the fucking steps of the courthouse.
Okay.
So he gets sent to the fucking gulag. Like the gulag. Like he gets sent to the fucking hole.
Okay.
And he doesn't know how to do shit. He doesn't know how to fight. He's a construction worker.
Okay.
But there is, of course, the
someone teaches him.
I don't even know no one teaches him. That's the thing. It's like it throws away every Van Dammeism. It throws away every one of them. But like there's like the guards have like a fucking fight club with the inmates. And he's like, and they're kind of like, if you want to like be treated better, you got to fight.
Okay.
Like entertain us, bitch.
I've heard that before.
And he gets his ass beat a bunch of times because he's a fucking construction worker.
Right.
But then he starts like working out, just like that's his whole thing. He just starts getting stronger.
Okay.
To the point where eventually he gets strong enough, and he gets out. Like, but it's like it's a well-told movie. He's not this like expert martial artist, because even in the one where he's not an expert martial artist, he becomes one very quickly.
Right.
Like, whereas this was like, I think they showed him across it was, like one of those montages of him getting beat up, working out. But it was like a year or 2 years or some shit like that. Like, he was there for a fucking while.
Yeah.
Going through this grueling shit.
Well, you shoot someone point blank, you're...
Well, I don't think he was ever going to get out.
Oh, okay.
I think they said, like, you're going to die here. Like, you're never getting out. There is no out. Because, again, the kid was connected. Okay. In Russia. Okay. So, like... Well... he was going to die there. So he stages a breakout. And it's so very interesting. And I think it ends kind of like ambiguous, like you don't know exactly what happens. Because I think they like get in a car, they get on the road, and it's like, that's the end.
Well, I'm glad you told me the movie so I don't have to watch it.
Oh yeah, you don't have to watch that. I think one day you still should, because you'll forget. You're actually really good at
Yeah.
I like telling you stuff, because then we'll just watch it later, and you're like, I've never heard of this. You're like, correct. That's right. Yeah.
I don't even remember movies I did watch.
I mean, shit, I watched
I'd have to watch the first Avengers again. I just remember there were, like, sky worms.
what did I just recently? I watched something recently where I forgot everything between like certain point. Like after a certain point, couldn't tell you what happened, and then I remember the rest. It was so weird because I was like, I know what happened. Like I know the resolution, I know the plot. I don't know how they got from here to there. Like, and that's kind of what happened here for a minute. But like,
I liked it.
What'd you think? Out of a scale of 10, without looking at my screen.
I give it an 8.
Yeah, me too.
Where does it say it on the screen?
It's right there.
I don't see it.
It's right there in the notes.
In the notes?
Right
there. 8 out of 10? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote notes right after I watched it because I was like, I'm going to forget some. I have something I want to say, but I'm going to forget it. So I wrote some notes. Also, fun fact, I watched it at 1.5 speed.
Oh my god.
Or no, 1.25 speed. But it played perfectly well. I forgot I was watching it in fast speed.
I wish you would just. I understand
that. It was 1 1/4. It wasn't.
I understand that you can hear, but I think you miss the nuance.
No.
When you listen to your stuff, it's like blah 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 blah. Like you can't.
But that's the thing. To me, that's not it.
Wow, that's nuts.
No, It depends on who it is. Some things I can listen to at 2x.
Jesus Christ.
Like, because there are some things that I watch, and I listen at 2x, and it sounds like they're just talking, and I'm like, how slow were they talking?
When I hear you listen to your shit, it sounds like the Chipmunks.
No, that's the thing. To me, I can hear it.
Wow.
I can hear, because like I watched a 2-hour Gary Vee thing today.
I would listen to crap at like half speed if I could.
You can.
I guess.
Netflix has a slider now.
Oh,
I don't know if they have it on everything, but they did for this.
Do they have
movie.
it on Spotify?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you could do that.
Well then.
Do it. Do it. Learn at your own speed. That's the beauty of it. That's why I like that shit.
Oh, it is bedtime.
Because there are certain things that I can do at 2x. Certain things like 1.5, we can not go that crazy, but like Explain the X-Men.
Yeah.
I can't do under 1.75 because they just take these pauses.
I like to hear people work out their thoughts, though. That's how I work.
I guess. I don't know.
I think there's something to be said for the listening to the process.
Certain things, yes. Like certain things, I switch back. Like I can't listen to music at speed. Obviously, like that shit's weird. I forget that I queue up a music video sometimes. So then, like, I look over and it's half done, and I was like, "How? How did you just started?" Like,
I don't know how you didn't notice. Whatever.
Or usually I'm playing games.
Well, anyway.
Well, that's gonna be it for this one. Very, very lazy wind down there at the end. That's gonna be it for this one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you have any thoughts, if you are on YouTube, if you have any thoughts, drop a comment down below regarding your thoughts on this movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you haven't seen it and watched this whole thing, what's wrong with you? Why do you do this to yourself? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.